And for plot 9, we have Graham Mitchell Architects.
It's a rather simple little three-house terrace of each is a repetitive unit of 3 bedrooms. A very simple idea of taking a very traditional format and form of house and just trying to make it contemporary and fit within the ethos of what the Expo was all about. The whole idea behind it was actually very simple and straightforward. A simple idea of identifying the public and private spaces within the house. Bits that need light, bits that don't need as much light, and just placing them in accordance with that, making it very, very efficient in terms of its layout, because the footprint of the building is actually quite small, so we needed to do that. And really just to maximise the potential of the site. We're very lucky that the site that we've got here actually faces almost due south. Therefore, that allowed us to place all the sort of public areas that the likes of the living rooms, the kitchens, the dining rooms, the bedrooms as well, could all face in this direction, which means they'll be able to get the sun almost all day, from sort of early in the morning right the way to late in the evening. And then that obviously, from that, you can get quite a very efficient sustainability, which is a very low tech, just utilising the environment really just to work the building out in that way. So that allows us really to have basically a front and a back. The front faces north, and obviously get a lot of heat loss through that, so we minimise the number of windows. That allowed us along the north to place the parts of the house that don't need the same amount of light, or you don't necessarily need to be looking out across the gardens, the like of the kitchen, the likes of the bathroom, the downstairs toilet, the staircase, things like that. And those windows that relate to them have been very specifically placed to allow glimpses and views out to the other houses, the site, and the great views that we've actually got from the site as well. Downstairs is the entrance, obviously from the front of the house, which is off the sort of public square. Got a porch that sort of identifies where the front door actually is, and then that basically just leads you through the hall into an open plan living area, which has got these 3 large windows and sliding doors, as you can see behind it. That's all. The kitchen's the left and to the north, as previously explained, and then it's literally just dining room and living area down there. Staircase is off that as well, just to minimise circulation, which just takes you upstairs, and there's 3 bedrooms upstairs of varying sizes, with 2 double beds and 2 double bedrooms and a single bedroom. One of the sort of the ideas was to make sure that we maximised the space as possible, because the footprint of the buildings are relatively small. So therefore what we've done is we've created a large floor to ceiling downstairs, the public space, large windows, the solar gain as previously discussed, but it was also to give a sense of hierarchy, like this is the important space, therefore it's the taller space. Upstairs, what we've done is, the interesting thing about the bedrooms is to actually utilise the roof space as part of the room, so therefore we've got quite a bit of volume. Part of the competition requirements were that the eaves level where the gutters are and the ridge, the top of the roof, had a very specific height on the street side. But what we've actually done with that is we've actually canted the roof so that the front of the house facing the street matches the dimensions that we were to stick to, but the back is actually slightly taller, so the roof is actually off centre. And what that allows us to do is it opens the building up to the south to try and maximise the solar gain and the sun that we've actually got. Part of that with the upstairs space allowing us to have the volume, we've been able to put Velux windows in on the north side. Now the good thing about that is with the large windows to the south, which obviously means we're getting direct sunlight, but you get a very constant light from the north. So that allows then a balance of light to come from 2 directions. And part of that is to cut a hole in the floor directly above the kitchen, which with a few roof lights above that, which throws light directly over the kitchen. And what this also does is, apart from balancing light in both directions, when you've got the downstairs windows and any in the south windows actually open, and then you open the Velux windows on the opposite side, that'll actually create a through draft, sort of trying to minimise the use of mechanical extract and obviously the electricity that's used for that as well. So therefore then you're getting a balance of light and also then hopefully good ventilation, natural ventilation, which is also coupled with the fact that the building is actually very as small a distance as we can get from front to back, which gives a nice balance of light and easy to get the pool of ventilation through. That all related back to the idea of trying to keep a very simple construction technique and material choice and making it, as I said before, just a very low-tech design. It's the idea that what we had to work on in terms of the competition brief was what was officially called lightweight and rural for this area. So that really led us on to looking at the idea of timber. It's a construction type that's very well known and used in this area, which meant that local contractors could easily build it. It also means then we can have a relatively lightweight construction. Part of the simple design, as I explained about the layout, relates to where the windows are placed and how the sun moves around the building to try and get as much solar heat as possible, to try and minimise the use of any sort of heating system. What we've got is a concrete floor slab and a highly insulated envelope of building. So therefore, the more solar gain that we can actually get from the sun through the large windows on the south of the building, the more heat that we can gain, and that will go into the concrete slab. It'll heat up. It's called thermal mass. Just the heat goes into the concrete slab, and then as the temperature drops internally, the heat's then released from the concrete. So therefore, it helps to balance the temperature internally. In terms of the heating systems we've got a relatively unique, for the UK anyway, heating system, which is a air source heat pump, which basically works like a radiator but backwards. The way the back of your radiator would be warm, we basically take it the other way around. It takes in the cold air from outside and then pumps it through the house and eventually heats the air up to go through the water to go through the radiators like a traditional heating system. Coupled with that, we've also got a water, what's called a grey water system, that would be actually recycling taking the heat as you pull the plug from your wash hand basin and bath and shower. That takes all the hot water that's within the pipes is actually sent up around the hot water tank, and then it takes whatever little heat's left from that to try and heat up the water, and then the water from there, so the water that's left is then put down. It's basically just filtered like a J's fluid, basically sent through it, and then that is recycled and used for flushing the toilet. So some of the water is actually heated internally for the use in the sinks, actually by a solar panel as well, which our site's perfectly suited for because it actually faces due south, therefore we can actually maximise the sun.